Hey, good morning everyone, it's TractorMan44 here. Today we're going to be making something a little bit different. I say that all the time. This time it is going to be different. It's going to be the very first beef and pork poker that I've ever been involved in. So this is all going to be a learning experience. You might be asking yourself, what is a beef and pork poker? Well, you're just going to have to hang around and see, because I don't know if it's going to work or not. So I'm just going to clean up a little bit of metal, make a few cuts, make a few welds and everything. We're going to see how it works out. I guess we could call it a cow and a pig poker, but you normally don't butcher cows. You milk cows, you don't drink the milk, and you usually don't butcher pigs. You know, you can use them little pigs and put them on the spit, you know, make a roast pig out of it. But usually you raise your pigs up into hogs, then you go ahead and butcher them, you know, as pork. So it can either be a cow and pig poker, or it can be a beef and pork poker. But at any rate, I'm just going to clean up a little metal and do some welding. You ever have a wire bristle come out of one of those grinding wheels, you know, the little wire brushes on an angle grinder, and poke right into your eye or right near your eyeball? You'll probably want to wear one of these, you know, from then on. I wear prescription glasses. They are safety glasses or safety glass lenses, so they're not really damaged by that kind of stuff. But without the side shields, it can ricochet off your cheek and go in backwards and still poke you in the eye. So it's much advisable to always wear these with those wire wheels. Now what we're making here and the amount that we're going to expect this to pick up is not substantial enough to be concerned about it, but were this something of very heavy capacity that was going on a big machine, it would make more sense. But what I was going to explain was, if you notice, I welded and I stopped and I welded, and then I stopped, then I welded. Did that on both sides. That's because those skip welds or those partial welds like that actually make this stronger than if you had continuous welds. If you continuously welded both sides, you would completely change these three pieces of metal into one piece, and it's much weaker at that point. But with skip welding like this, you still allow flex, or the two different materials, to work against one another, and it makes them stronger because you have metal in opposition instead of one piece of metal that can bend. I'm going to turn that over and put a little bit on the back side. And again, something as light duty as this is, that really doesn't matter that much. Those on the back side are more so just to maintain stability, just to make sure that it doesn't peel off in the wrong situation or wrong set of circumstances. It's always stronger to attach from the back side as well. Now I made a little flat plate out of a part of a piece of scrap 4-inch angle iron. You can see the back end of the angle ground off there. Blew me a hole right there in the middle of it, a little bit offset of it. I got me this old 3/4 inch bolt. Actually, it's a 7/8 bolt. We're going to heat that up and we're going to drive that right through there. Now that's a precision fit. Where there's the spike and the backing plate welded on. Now if you can imagine this, just think about this being attached to the extremes of my loader bucket, this being bolted into the loader bucket. If you happen by chance to watch my butchering videos from in the past, there's one where my much older brother and myself were putting, I don't remember if it was pork or beef, into the cooler, but you see how much we struggled to get those quarters in. You know, they're freshly killed, might be chilled overnight, might not be, but it's very difficult for us two old guys to be lifting those and putting them in there. So the whole reason for this little tool is to make it so much easier on us putting those unruly quarters, or halves of hogs or quarters of beef, into the cooler. This, if it works out the way I plan, should make it a snap. No muss, no fuss, no strain. And the big thing, you know, when you got a guy in his 80s like my much older brother and myself, I'm pushing 70, in a couple months, it's getting a little bit tough for us to step on those steps and climb up and in and out and everything. You get a little bit of fat, a little bit of blood on your feet, it gets slick, gets a little bit dangerous. So this way here, I think it's going to work out to our benefit. But at any rate, that remains to be seen, but we're going to know here before too long. This is the first of its kind. A Kubota powered beef and pork poker. Well, there it is, bolted into place right dead center of the bucket. 4 grade 8 3/8 inch bolts at, I think it's 128,000 pounds per square inch tensile. I don't think I have to worry about 4 3/8 bolts holding, a 150 pound quarter, or 130 pound half of a hog. I'm not concerned much about the slack in the chain. All I have to do is loosen up the bolts, raise it up, take the next length out of it, drop it down, then tighten up the bolts and it'll be tight. It's not really necessary, I don't believe. It's just kind of there for safety. Oh, there's Layla walking around. So if you want, just think of this as a bale spike for pigs and beef going in the cooler. It really should be absolutely perfect. If you notice, I can put a little pressure on it. You see a little bit of the slack comes out of the chain. I'm probably putting 80 pounds of pressure right there. So 125 or 130 is not going to do anything at all. At any rate, it ought to work the way I want to. We'll be back as soon as you get ready to put a beef in the cooler. And you know what? This is Tractor Man 44, and I am out of here, guys.